it's because of who we are, right? It's because like now we have this little show. We do this little thing.
This little show.
You know, and I think there's a lot more eyes on us.
Yeah.
So people wanna get angry at what we say. You know, because a lot of the times people who get annoyed at this stuff aren't the people who like actually like watch Trash Taste. There's people like outside of Trash Taste who maybe have like some followers who've watched Trash Taste. Maybe say some of the clips or whatever, and they're like, you won't believe what these guys who I don't already watch or engage with said. Like they don't know how we behave or how we like go towards a topic or how we tackle it. It's just like, he just said this thing, I disagree with it, I'm gonna get angry.
What's like really weird, especially about my Jujutsu Kaisen hot take, is the fact that I called Jujutsu Kaisen okay months ago on my own channel. No one fucking batted an eye. Say it on Trash Taste, everyone loses their mind.
Because it's Trash Taste, right? It's weird because like, I feel we've got to that point now where like not super small Twitter accounts, but some Twitter accounts with some decent followings will be like, this clown take on Trash Taste XXX.
Yeah.
But I think that's also kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's awesome that people feel like we're big enough where they can just openly like criticize us publicly. I'm like, go ahead, man.
It is humbling to think that my offhand comment about an anime has like stirred up this much controversy. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, can you not cancel me for saying that a show is okay?
I don't care. I don't lose sleep over it if someone gets angry at me.
No, I'm not sleeping over it. I just think it's a little like, you know.
I'm glad. Imagine back 4 or 5 years ago, if I'd said the same shit, no one would give a fuck.
No one would care.
I think like, I'm glad that people care. Sometimes it's annoying.
It's a little too much.
But I love it.
Thank you for caring about my dumb opinion about a show.
I don't care about Joe's opinion, so you should.
I don't even care about my opinion. I just said it.
Well, I think the argument is that we are creators who have a platform and an influence. I mean, that's why they call people like us influencers, right? even though we fucking hate the word.
I'm allergic to that word.
I love it actually. I mean, I got like that evil voice going for me, so I feel like it works when someone calls me an influencer.
It's just like the one thing I don't like about that word is that it can apply to so many things. Like a cult leader is technically an influencer as well.
Those are the OG influencers.
Yeah, they're the OG influencers, right? Like, I don't know if I want to be bunched up in those kinds of
kidding, by the way. I don't actually like the word. I like to think that I make something that's somewhat entertaining and good.
I'm just a dude on the internet.
I don't know.
With a bunch of hot takes.
I feel like I get it to a certain extent where we do have to be careful about some of the stuff we say,
right?
Because there are some topics that I feel we do have to like navigate very very carefully.
Of course.
Because there are other creators out there who do have a platform and they say shit and their words have a tangible effect on the real world and the community they talk to. But at the same time, there are some things that I just like. It blows my mind that people care this much about.
Right.
Yeah.
And like one of the biggest things that I don't understand is people take this. People will take this 1 minute, 2 minute clip from Trash Taste or from one of our streams, because this happened to me a bunch of times, right? Where I will see this clip being circulated where it's like a 1 or 2 minute clip from the podcast or my stream that's like not scripted. It's just in a conversation that's most of the time doesn't even have anything to do with the take that I'm saying in that one clip because it's like 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they will take this clip and then spin it to like a whole new level of
like you've planned it all out.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mastermind move.
Yeah. And like I think of this in context, right? And I'm thinking, I don't think people who watch our show or people who are super fans of the show is going to be influenced by a 1 minute clip of us talking about this one subject that most of the time doesn't even have to do with the overall conversation. It's just like it's just most of the time just like an offhand comment or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's going to fucking influence anybody.
Yeah, like on that segment where Joe, you spoke about Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was like, no, you're a clown.
Right.
It's good. How if you're a viewer, it's like, how can you argue that then you're being influenced to be like Jujutsu Kaisen is mid or okay? Because like there's an active argument going on where we're saying no, it's not. You're wrong. So like, what do you as a viewer? What do you take away from that? It's not. Oh, I'm going to think Jujutsu Kaisen's mid, even if you're like a super fan.
Right.
It's so stupid.
But like that's what I think I like about those kinds of discussions on the show, especially when like two or all of us are like arguing against each other. Right? Is that like it gives so many different points of views where like it's up to the viewers now who you want to agree with, right? And it's like it's not so much me saying, hey, because I think Jujutsu Kaisen is okay, you should also think that way. I mean, if you want to think that way, that's on you, right? But it's not like I'm coming out here, you know, fucking starting a demo of being like, everybody stand up and rise. Jujutsu Kaisen is just okay.
It's okay.
And like start a fucking coup d'etat over it, right? It's like, I'm just so fucking, like, I just don't get it. Like, you know, it's fine to be influenced by certain things, but at the same time, it's like, it's just a show, bro.
I think it's a good problem to have in our job.
Of course.
You know, people would spend many years trying to get to the point where we're very fortunate where, you know, people watch Trash Taste and people care. I feel very lucky that people want to get angry about small things I joke about.
Yeah, that's fine. Is it like, you know, is it a contention for cancellation though? Not sure about that.
Yeah, like,
you know.
I don't know. It goes back to like online hate day as well. Like, I don't know. I've got to the point now where it doesn't really bother me that much, like, at all. Really, it's interesting. I think this is just because I've been online for so long now, where now I'm just kind of like just at equilibrium with it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't even say it's because like I'm okay with it now, or I'm like numb to it. I guess it's like I think Jessica Negri said it best. Okay. She said when someone asked her about like how do you deal with like internet hate, you know, like how do you get over it? Yeah. And she said like you never get over it. It still hurts, but you just learn to live with it.
Like to me, because we have talked about this a few times, but to me, like, you know, without getting to the like the online hate thing, the thing that like the one thing that annoys me than just people actually just like hating on me, you know, and hating on my content, for example, is just when people are like trying to put words in my mouth. To be like Gant said this or Gant said this and that means X, you know, or that means XYZ. And that to me, there's nothing that wants to make me reply more than people who are spreading this idea that I, you know, maybe
that's the greatest debate of all.
It is, right? It is.
Because at that point, like, I've seen some like instances where like, you know, I say one thing, right, and then it just like spirals out into this like insane story about like how I fucking killed a child or some shit, right? Like it's like something like, you know, like it's like that level of like, how did you take this one little piece of information and spin it in a way that is just couldn't be further from the truth? Like you're basically writing a fan fiction at that point. And it's like what? And then there are people who look at that and be like, oh yeah, that sounds like something he'd say. I'm like, what?
I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Because I swear to God, I don't know if I don't know if the anime community was always like this, because like to me there are some topics that I always like used to love arguing about, you know, because I felt like, to me, you know, there are some things where you really have to be careful about what you say in terms of like religion, politics, and stuff like that. You
Hence
know,
the reason why we never talk about it on the show.
We've spoken about a little bit on and we never had.
But we try and avoid it. As
we
much
never
as
had any problems.
But you know, sometimes you just want to have like a fun argument on someone where you can just shit on their opinion and you don't have to worry about it, because you know that at the end of the day the topic doesn't really matter that much. And to me, like as an anime fan, anime was always one of those topics for me until like quite recently. And I don't know if that's just my perception, because like another topic I would say is you can easily argue with anyone about is food. Everyone loves arguing about food. We do it all the fucking time because it's fun, and it's fun because people understand that people have different tastes and opinions, right? And to me, like anime was always at that same level, as I can easily argue about anyone with anime and not have to worry about, you know, hurting their feelings too much, because I just assume everyone in our community has like an understanding that, dude, you can have your own taste, you can have your own
It's mutual agreement that at the end of the day, even if this one random internet person doesn't think that your favorite show is as good as it is, it's like, well, that's not going to deter me from the fact I still like the show.
It's probably just changed just because of the scale of Trash Taste, right? It's like, you know, there's nothing like this back in the day. You know, back on Podtaku, what was the like average viewer count?
Like, I think our most viewed podcast ever was like 100K.
You know, back then it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
crazy.
Insane. Yeah. But, you know, obviously the scale is completely different now.
Yeah.
Anime has also been somewhat more democratized in a way. Like
democratized.
It's more readily available.
Yeah, definitely more. It's more available to more eyes now.
It's a lot easier to get a hold of.
Yeah.
You know, and discourse about it is way more open, and people are way more open to talk about it. So I think that's why. It's some of the reasons why.
So the problem is it's getting popular.
Well, essentially,
I mean, you could almost say it's becoming mainstream.
Kinda, because I always had this like image that the anime community felt like it was about like 10 years behind what we saw with the gaming community, right? Because it felt like maybe the gaming industry also had this shift where games used to be just this fun things you numb your brain out to. It didn't really matter that much, you know. You could just have fun with it. And then now games are a big business. And
it's the same. Essentially. I know that some people gave Zelda Breath of the Wild like a 7 out of 10 when it came out, and they got controversy for that because they didn't give it a 9 or a 10 or something.
So basically, they got cancelled for saying Breath of the Wild was just okay.
No. They said it was just good.
Oh, it's just good.
Okay would be 5. You know, we've had the same thing. It's the same thing again.
Isn't it incredible how one word can completely change everything? Like, there's such a huge difference in like insinuation between calling something good and calling something just good.
It could be the attitude towards it as well. You know, sometimes I think. Sometimes I can understand. Sometimes the way you talk about anime could definitely you're like, yeah, it's mid, and I can understand why you piss people off, because you sound like you won't even entertain the conversation. You're like, I fucking hate the fact that you even brought this up to me. It was mid. Stop talking to me about it. So I can understand why sometimes people can get annoyed by that. Yeah, because they're like, I wish Joey just even listened to me. It's like me trying to get approval from my parents. It's like I wish my parents just gave it a chance.
It's like no.
It's like you're like it's mid, you know. I think maybe that's what annoys people.
And look, I can completely get that as well, and that is my bad, to be fair. But at the same time, it's like, you know, sometimes I don't even bother engaging in these conversations because I already know how it's going to end.
I get you, Joe, because it's just happened so many times that
I've done this for almost 9 years, man. I know how a conversation like this is going to end.
I've known you for ages, so
I
know how you are with these conversations.
Yeah, I could say I could give out all these like well thought out, constructed arguments about why I think the show is okay, and people will be like, but I don't agree with it. And I'm like, oh my God, what more can I say?
So what you're saying is if Trash Taste started 6 years ago, you might have got more enthusiastic debate out of it. Oh
yeah, dude. This would actually be an anime podcast.
No, I don't want an anime podcast.
But no, it's not. It's not now.
It's not now. It's great.
Yeah. Good.
Thank God. It's great.
What's going back to the hate thing? What's because you always get asked, right, by new creators or something, or anyone, they're like, how do you deal with online hate? What's the advice that you give someone? Because I've been mulling this over a lot recently, because I think my opinion on it has changed quite a lot. And how
since the last time we talked about this?
I think so. I think I had this like perspective shift recently, and I don't know why, but I was like, the whole thing of living with it and stuff is totally valid advice, and I think that's also good. But I don't know what happened, but now I look at it and I don't really care at all when I see it, because to me in my head they're never angry at like me as a individual person. When I read that, it's like they're angry at like what they think is me. Right. They're not angry at, if they sat with me and spoke with me, they probably wouldn't feel that way, right? But they're angry at the idea of me, and more often than not, it's like they were never going to give me a chance anyway, because I must be a personality they don't like. Or,
but like I feel that way of thinking about things has only been constructed because you've been doing this for so long, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And like, I don't think there are very, very few people who can come right into this industry from the jump and have this like enough self-confidence in themselves and their content and their self-image on the internet to be like, well, that's not about me. That's just about their image of me, right? And I feel like, you know, especially when I started off, like, I didn't have that kind of fucking confidence, right? And I'm sure a lot of people didn't. Where, you know, so like anything, like the moment your name gets mentioned in something, and even if it's not exactly the most like detrimental thing, you know, jab at your personality or whatever, I think people just not used to this and having this like random amount of people coming up to you and being like, by the way, you're kind of shit, you know, is a thing that we're not really used to, right? Because
the human wasn't evolved.
How many people just walk down the street and have a random person be like, excuse me, you're shit? You know, like, no, it doesn't happen, right? But on the internet, that's normal. And I think
it's like New York.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not joking.
Who was it that said like people on the internet have gotten way too used to saying things, not getting punched in the face for it?
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely. There's no repercussion for it, right? So it's like, you know, they just think, oh, it's just free range to say whatever the fuck I want, right?
Sorry.
No, and I was about to say, like, you know, and yes, in a sense, it is kind of free range to say whatever you want, but, you know, with the repercussions, you know, like you can say whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay for the repercussions if they come back to you, right? And they very well might, you know.
Yeah. because like I actually had to like train my mum up for this like recently, right? Because she's not getting hate, but sometimes she goes through like the trash taste videos and like, you know, some of the streams and like the comments, and she like finds these comments and like, Gun, I want to reply right now. I want to tell them that they're wrong. And like, Mum, do not do that, Mum. Do not do that, Mum. That's even worse. Yeah, my mum does, man. Because my mum reads like so many comments, and like she doesn't understand how to deal with online hate, especially to like her own son. So she's just like, well, sometimes she'll just like send me like a bunch of fucking comments being like, look at all these people saying wrong information about you. I want to reply.
Is that like a Southeast Asian mom thing? Because Aki's mom does exactly the same thing. Where she had to be like, Mum, stop sending me this shit. Stop replying to this shit. Just leave it. I'm fine.
I literally have to explain to her. It's like if a school bully said something to me and you come up to the school bully in front of everyone in the school and be like, don't talk about my son like that. I'm like, Mum, this looks even worse than even if I replied to it personally, okay?
Oh, no. No. How did she take it? How did she take it?
I mean, I told her not to do it. I'm just like, no, you just don't read it, Mum. I understand what you're going through. Everyone who's a content creator goes through this at the beginning, but you just got to understand that people are just gonna say stuff.
God, and my parents couldn't be more the opposite of that. Like my parents would be like, oh, you know, my dad would be like, oh yeah, some people were saying shit about your last video, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, but they're all dicks. So don't worry about it. You'll be right, mate.
Bro, I'm sweating for the day where I wake up on Twitter one day and then I wake up to like a screenshot that's been spread viral about my mum replying to like one of my haters' comment. Be like, yo, have you seen what Gant's mum said to this person? I'm like, for fuck's sake.
I just want to see a tweet. I just want to see a tweet from your mum being like, what the fuck did you say to me, you little shit? You kiss your mom with that mouth?
I'll have you know I have 300 confirmed kills.
Oh my God, I love that.
I think we should, we need some comments from your mum. I think
definitely.
I think that'd be good. We should have a segment where we read out your mum's reply comments.
Have your parents ever like looked through your comments or looked through your videos to see what people are saying about you?
I think so. I think my mum one time was like really sad about it. She was like, why are they saying mean things on this one thing about you? Right. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. She was like,
it's so cute though, right?
Yeah, she was way more upset about it than I was. I was like, I don't give a shit about, you know, obviously because it's not normal to see people badmouth your son.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
It's not a normal thing you get to experience.
Of course,
so it's quite a visceral emotion.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said if my kid was in that situation, I wouldn't do the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, I'd probably want to punch someone.
Yeah, I'd be like, don't
worry.
How
dare you make my kids
They're just dicks.
Yeah. Like honestly, I kind of get it. I'm the same, I guess, because I feel like more anger when I see, you know, people shit talking Sydney than I see when I see people.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Like if I
see one person shit talking one of my bros, I'm just like, fuck that. I want to fucking call them out now.
And I guess like if in that vein, like I think the one thing I hate more than people taking my shit out of context, right, and trying to cancel me for something completely not related, is when they just like drag my friend into it, and especially people who like don't matter at all. I'm like, okay, you can say shit about me, right? Like I'll take care of that. That'll be my problem. But don't drag people who have nothing to do with this shit into it. Like, don't drag in my girlfriend or my friends or like my fucking mom or anything. Like this got nothing to do with them. If you hate my opinion, just shit talk me. I'll deal with it. I'll cry into my own pillow. But I won't. I don't want people shit talking other people. That's like the one thing I hate. Don't do that. You're a dick if you do that.
You're a dick if you do that.